Hello everybody, this is Ninja. Boy, I can't even remember the last time I did one of these tutorial videos for you guys. It's been such a long time. But you know, it hasn't been all that active on the modding scene until just recently. 1.2.5 came out, and you know, it got a little stable, and quite a few mods became available. The other thing that's kind of good for the community is this MC Port Central. Pay it a visit, you're going to see what I'm talking about. In fact, all the files that I'm going to talk about today, all the files that you need for the mods I'm going to show you, you need to visit there. One single place that holds all these mods. So that's a good thing. Anyway, today I'm going to attempt to show you guys how to install MoCreature on both the client and the Bukkit server. But on top of that, I'm gonna do just a few more here, just to show some of the basics of modding the Bukkit server. Anyway, pay this a visit, get these files here, and then when we come back, I'll show you. Okay, so let's do the client first. I hope by now you guys know where the clients reside. So just a quick one here. Run app data. It is here. I'm just going to clean it out. I'm going to do Control A and just delete everything. So we're going to start afresh. I'm going to start the Minecraft client, and that should populate this folder again. I forgot my password. Let's see if this is correct. Shoot. Yay. Okay, so the client is up. Now we're going to start modding. So if you look here, you're going to see that all the files are there again. So let's start with Minecraft.jar. I'm going to make a copy. This is a habit of mine. Before modding, I'm just going to make a copy. And then I mod the original. Right click, open with WinRAR. So for the client, always start with ModLoader. Just mark everything and drag and drop there. Before we forget, let's delete the meta.inf. Alright, so that's ModLoader. Now we're gonna need the Forge client. Again, mark everything. Drag and drop. Okay, the next thing is OptiFine. Now this one here, I'm using the multi-core, but choose one that is more appropriate for your machine. Again, mark everything and drag and drop into the Minecraft.jar. Alright. So at this point, I just want to see if it still boots. That's also another habit of mine. It's I want to make sure that it's still working before I continue. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. And it still does. So I'm going to continue. Actually, I'm going to make another copy. At the end, I'll just delete all the copies when I know that everything is working. Alright, so the next thing is I want to do because I want to do the MoCreature that requires a bunch of these other ones, which includes a GUI API. Mark everything and put them in there. Overwrite everything by clicking OK. And CustomMobSpawner, just 3 classes. All right. So at this point, we've got the things ready for MoCreature on the client side. But you're gonna need to install some files into the mods folder. So this is done. You want to navigate to .minecraft mods. You're gonna copy this file here in there, and let's run it and see if it works. Yeah, I know why this thing's not working. Single player, I'm gonna create a new world. Just test MoCreatures. So when you first log in, a lot of people gets the idea that you're gonna see animals right away. Typically, you don't, and you're gonna have to wait a while for the animals to show up. But as a test, you can do this. You can in this latest version, you can spawn some of them. So go to Option, press Escape, go to Options, go to Global Mod, DrZharks, Insta Spawner. Let's spawn a bear. There you go. So we know now that it does in fact work. Okay. Oh, one more thing. We did install the OptiFine, so I wanna use a different texture pack for this. I have another one here somewhere. Let me see. I want to use this one here. So, just in case you didn't catch it, Minecraft texture pack. Copy that in there. All right, we're gonna see it in the next time we try it. So let's get back to the mod folder. So what else do we need here? In the mods folder, let's do the BuildCraft. Copy all the BuildCraft files in. Okay. Now what else do we have here? I want to also install the NotEnoughItems-Client. So for that, make another copy. We first need the CodeChickenCore-Client. Just mark everything, copy it in here. Oops. And then the not enough items. Again, mark everything. Put them in there. I think we got everything. Okay, Let's try it. Go to texture pack, select pre-mader craft, and then single player test mode creature. I'm gonna play this world. There, you should see the items for the for BuildCraft. I just want to place them to make sure that they do work. So I believe that's it for the client. I'll return and we'll do the Bukkit side. Okay, let's do the Bukkit server then. This is snapshot 93 from the link that I show you. Let's just run it at least once. I'm going to create a folder, call it server, and I'm going to move it in there, copy or move in there. And then the way that you run it, I typically use a batch file like this. I'm just also going to move it in here, and I'll edit this file to show you how it's being run. So make sure that Java is in your path. If you don't know how to do that, Google. And that's how you run that thing. So I'm going to click on the batch file, let it run. It's going to create all the necessary files and a default world. Actually, it's going to create 3 worlds, I believe. World, world nether, and world end, or something like that. Alright, so it's up and running. Well, let's just log in to see if we can do it. It should be able to let us log in to the server itself. Multiplayer. I'm gonna create a new server, just localhost. It's alive. I'm gonna join the server. Man, I always start out like way up there. Anyway, let's see if we can find some animals. These are vanilla animals. I have a feeling that we're gonna waste time if we sit around trying to find more creatures. Let's return in a little while. I just want to mention that the latest version 3.6.2, actually 3.6.0, was the first version that DrZharks actually supports multiplayer, and therefore there are still a bunch of bugs to be ironed out. So you're not gonna see 100% perfect gameplay, but it's a great step forward. So play with it and enjoy, and looking forward to better updates. Okay, let's mod the Bukkit server. So you downloaded the Craft Bukkit snapshot version 93. That happens, if you read, it happens to already have the forge in it. Therefore, you can skip that. Now, typically, I will make a copy of this, and I will indicate that that's not an original by just appending the word mod and a version mod 1 to it. And then I go in versions as I need to. So because I made the change here, I'm gonna also have to make the change in my batch file. .mod1. Okay. So a lot of the mods nowadays don't require you to put anything into that jar. But remember in the beginning when I showed you this list, I said that I will help you to do the SmartMoving 8.7. That actually is a special case. It not only makes you modify the jar file, but it also have a file that you put in a plug-in. So it's both a plug-in and a mod, which is a interesting case. Anyway, so let's get to it. So first thing first, we're gonna edit the mod1 jar file. Open it with WinRAR, and SmartMoving actually requires you to install Player API package to it. So open that up and just drag the net folder into the craft bucket, and that's all you got to do for that. Now, for the mods folder of your server, you need two files. That's BuildCraft and the MoCreature. Copy that into the mods folder. And then for your plugin folder, open the SmartMoving, and you see that there's a file here. There's a bunch of files, but the ones that's appropriate for the bucket is labeled as such. So open that one, and there's only one file called SmartMoving.jar. You're gonna copy that file into the server's plugin folder, okay? And that is that for the server. Now, I forgot one thing for the client. So let's go back to the client. Actually, a couple of things. So for the client, remember for the server, remember we had to install the player's API. We need to do the same thing for the client. So go back to .minecraft client. Remember Minecraft bin and the file called Minecraft jar. Open that up with your WinRAR. And then in your client folder, install Player API. And just mark the .class files. Okay, and skip the .text. Copy all of those into the Minecraft.jar. Okay. Now, the last thing you got to do is in SmartMoving. SmartMoving is a special case. It's distributed as a full package, which, as you see, contains a whole bunch of files. And the one thing that we forgot to do was to install the client for it. So it's the very first one that you see in that file. It's called SmartMoving Client for ModLoader. Open that up, and you should copy all of those things, all of those files, into your Minecraft jar of the client. Mark everything, copy it in there. That's it. That's everything you got to do. Now let's see if it'll run. Alright, so let's run the server first. I will show you. Actually, it's not complete yet, but let's just run it anyway. Alright, server is running. And the client is running, and you can log in. But as I mistakenly said earlier, that oh, actually, look at that. I see them already. Ostriches. So that's the other thing I want to mention to you is that ostriches run, they just in abundance in this version. I think DrZharks is trying to fix that, but a couple of users actually mentioned that they see hundreds of them just bogging down the server. So be aware, and these are still issues that are ongoing. Now, the one last thing that I want to show you guys is this. Let's disconnect, quit the game, stop your server. Let's check in your mods folder to see if, yeah, see right now, if you look in your server's mod folder, there is no configuration file for MoCreature. You need one of those. And once you run the client for the first time, you should see in the .minecraft mods MoCreature a GUI config file. Okay, and the same settings that you have done in your client, if you copy this entire thing over, the settings should hold. So what was recommended to do was to run the client just at least once, and I'll show you how to do it now. So just run it in single player mode, log in, go in single player mode. Now bring up the menu. I don't want to get killed here. That guy might bite me. Press escape, go into options, go into global settings, DrZharks MoCreature. Now go in here and do your settings. You know, choose how frequent you want your mobs to occur and so forth. Let's just make a, let's say I'd really like jellyfish. I'll increase that to 20. Now, so the settings is saved. Okay, so what I do now is, if I look into the mods folder of your client, of my client, and the mods folder of my server, they should be the same. So I'm gonna make a copy from the whole folder MoCreatures over. Alright, so remember, Minecraft mods MoCreature over to servers mod MoCreature. Alright, now it's a text file, so if you edit it, you're gonna see this. So you can make your changes here too. Just use a text editor and edit it. Alright, so now let's run it again. Let's run the server. One more thing. One more thing that you need to do. I'm going to stop it. Jeez. Edit that file. Go to the lines that says vanilla. Yeah. So go to this line that says change vanilla spawns. Make sure that is false and not true. Alright. So it so happens that this file here is correctly configured. So I don't need to change it. But make sure that it is false. So one more time. I'm going to run. We're almost there. I'm going to run both server and client. Congratulations. You've successfully modded both clients and Bukkit. Again, look at all these guys. There are too many of them. Let's see if we can find other types of animals. Snakes, for example. Let's walk around a bit. Oh my god. There. Snakes. Well, anyway, that's it. So, hope you enjoy. Leave me a comment. Thanks. Bye.